Well, I mean, look, there weren't, as the article says, Skip, it wasn't all Baker's fault. But it goes to show you that Odell Beckham wasn't washed up. And what happened is that for the 2.5 years it was debated, well, Odell, we can't get on the same page, we can't do this and we can't do that. It didn't work. But Odell was never the reason why it wouldn't work. I just think the thing is, Skip, is that Odell plays a dependent position. And for 2.5 years, it didn't work for Baker the way it worked in 3 months with Matthew Stafford. It just goes to show you, if you're a receiver, the better the quarterback, the better the receiver. Devontae Adams is an outstanding receiver. But this notion that he would be just as effective or just as impactful without Aaron Rodgers, I don't believe that to be true. Jerry Rice, the greatest receiver, but he had Joe Montana, and then Joe left, and then he had Steve Young. He had guys, I think, if not mistaken, Skip, they might have won 5 MVPs between the two of them, and we know the amount of Super Bowls that they won between the two of them. So with that being said, that's what Odell was up against. Skip Bayless had wanted to tell you over his, let's see, he got in the league 18, 19, 20, 21. Over his 4-year career, Skip Bayless want to base everything down on an 11-game stretch. 11 games. Now, Baker Mayfield has started 60 games in his career. He's 29-30 in his career, even if you give him that 11-game stretch. So I included that great 11 games that Skip Bayless told you that Baker Mayfield was Tom Brady. He was Peyton Manning. I included that. He's 29-30. He's won 6 games. Oh, excuse me. He's won more than 6 games once in 4 seasons. Now, mind you, he has a top 3 running game, the best O-line in football, weapons out the yin-yang, a really good defense.
Weapons out the yin-yang?
So Jarvis Landry's never been to the Pro Bowl.
Huh.
So you don't like Jarvis now? You don't like...
Is he Cooper Kupp?
Well, see, now
Cooper Kupp?
Now everybody got to go Cooper. Well, who is?
Cooper Kupp?
Oh, is Baker Mayfield Justin Joe Burrow? Is he Justin Herbert?
Tell me what's
Is he
my
Patrick
turn.
Mahomes?
Tell me what
Is he Josh Allen? No, it's not your turn just yet. Odell showed that he can still play. Baker Mayfield showed that he still isn't the guy. Now, no matter how much you want to make it, you got upset and everybody got upset about Odell's dad and the video. Odell's dad didn't create the video. He retweeted it. All those plays was courtesy of Baker Mayfield. All I did was package it together. Don't get mad at the packaging. Get mad at what's in the packaging. You, Skip Bayless, you brought this on yourself.
So it was Baker's fault, says Shannon Sharpe. I think that's what you just concluded. You tried to back into it, and then all of a sudden you leaped aboard it, and then you're saying, well, I didn't really say that. What did you say?
No, what I'm saying is that you and others got upset that Odell's dad retweeted this 11, 12-minute compilation of the bad plays that Baker had with Odell. All I'm saying is don't get mad at the packaging, who sent it out, what happened inside the packaging, the plays, the quarterback.
All right.
Your guy did that.
Okay. Now, it is my turn officially, so the ball has been handed to me, and I'm about to run with it. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I would submit to you Exhibit A that as a rookie in this league, Baker Mayfield wound up, says Pro Football Focus, with the 4th most big-time throws in all of pro football as a rookie, which led the man across from me in Baker's sophomore year in the National Football League to jump aboard and drive his bandwagon, at least for a while, until he decided it's time to leap off. But you're driving it over there. You're like stealing my thunder on the other side of the table. You're saying, shake and bake, baby. Did you not say shake and bake?
I did. I never liked shake and bake. They made the worst pork chops and chicken.
All right. Well, that's...
You knew that, too.
Okay. I just liked it from Talladega Nights, but you don't know Talladega Nights. Okay. Ricky Bobby. All right. So the point is that if we look hard at what just happened over the last 4 years to Odell Beckham Jr., did injuries not play a huge part in his demise? Like, it was everything. It was all about injury. What happened his last year as a New York Football Giant?
Broke his ankle.
He broke his ankle. He had ankle surgery, and he had to miss the rest of the season after the ankle surgery, right?
Yep.
So he goes to Cleveland after New York finally decided, we've had enough. He's more trouble than he's worth. We're going to ship him out to Cleveland.
Right.
And remember his tweet, He's going back and forth with somebody on Twitter saying, y'all have any good restaurants out there?
Yeah.
He did not want to go out there. He's not a Cleveland, Ohio type of a person.
When
right?
the last time you heard somebody say, you know what, I'm going to Cleveland for a vacation?
Good point. I agree with you. So Odell's heart was never in it, even though he and Baker were friendly, if not friends.
Mm-hmm.
They actually socialized. They had actually taken a vacation together. Okay, so then in 2019, his first year there in Cleveland, what happens? He pulls his groin in week 8, and he struggles down the back half of the season, did Odell, to the point that it became hernia surgery. Right. He needed sports hernia surgery for his abdominal region, his core. Mm-hmm. He had big problems. So he was kind of a shell of himself down the stretch of 2019. And then what happened in 2020? In week 7, against these same fateful Bengals, he's at Cincinnati, and he tears his ACL. Then he turns around, and next time
and how did he tear his ACL? After Baker Mayfield threw an interception, he's trying to make the tackle. Don't forget, you remember how he did that.
Okay, and then we fast forward to this past 2021 season, and speaking of trying to make a tackle after an interception, Baker tried to do the same thing against the Houston Texans in week 2 of this past football season and tore his labrum so badly that he should have had surgery on the spot immediately, and he tried to gut it out and tough it up and play through it, and I kept telling you all year long he needs surgery. And what happens as soon as the season ended? He had surgery.
His eyes has LASIK.
Torn labrum. Okay, so now we hark back to the one stretch of Baker's career that you want to sweep under your little carpet over there. You got like deep pile shag carpet over there, and you want to hide it from everybody. But it was probably no coincidence that after Baker tried to force feed the ball to Odell, because he loved Odell and he wanted it to work, after he became so egocentric, Odell-centric, I got to get it to him. I got to get it to 13. What happened after Odell unfortunately went down and out? Baker's career took off because he goes over an 11-game stretch. He goes 8-3 with 20 touchdowns to only 3 interceptions. Okay. And Pro Football Focus ranks Baker Mayfield over those 11 games of last, going back 2 seasons ago. Mm-hmm. He ranked the 4th best quarterback in football over that stretch. No Odell? Coincidence or not? Who knows? And Baker goes roaring into the playoffs, goes to play their arch rival within the division at Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh was flying high, because remember, Pittsburgh had started off that year, 11-0?
Yes.
Yeah, and would you believe that Baker Mayfield had a QBR at Pittsburgh against a pretty good defensive unit that was playing at a much higher level than they were a year ago? And what happened? Baker had a QBR of 91 in that game and put up 48 points in that game and looked like a world beater, and there was no Odell Beckham Jr.
How many turnovers did Pittsburgh have?
Well, I don't really care, because all I know is that Baker played at an extremely high level on offense. Okay, so I look at the stats, and it's mostly injuries on both their parts, but I look at 2019. Look, Odell wound up with 74 catches. It averaged 5 a game for 64.7 yards a game, which is pretty pedestrian, it's pretty mediocre. And then it fell to 3.3 catches in 2020 a game, 45.6 yards. And then it fell all the way this past year to 2.8 catches and 38.7 yards. He goes from bad to worst in those 3 years in Cleveland. Well, he was hurt, and he was hurt, and he was hurt. And then his quarterback was hurt in the final year.
No. So, it's funny. Okay, in 2021, his QBR, Pro Football Focus, your Bible, said Baker Mayfield had a QBR that was 27th. In 2020, that year you was talking about, he had the 10th rated QBR. In 2019, he had 19th rated QBR. In 2018, he had the 23rd. So I'm going to treat it like Olympic judging. I'm going to throw out the high score and the low score, and I'm going to keep the 2 middle scores, which is 19th and 23rd, which means he's the 21st QBR. Hold on. There's 32 teams, 16 would be average. If he's 20 to 21st, that means he's below average. Now, Pro Football Focus also said Odell Beckham was the 4th rated receiver in the playoffs. They said Baker Mayfield was the number 30th rated quarterback in the regular season, behind Justin Fields, Tua, Wentz, and Teddy Bridgewater. Could I interest you in that? Now, which one of those guys you believe is going to take you places where you need to go? Justin Fields is a young guy. I think Justin Fields has the potential to be really, really good. But he's a young guy. You have little to no respect for Tua. You call the man, you call it walking. Wentz and Teddy Bridge.
By the way, Indy's about to dump him.
There you go.
Your man, walk it to him. He walked right out the door. He walked in the door and he walked it to him right out the door.
I've been left Wentz. I've been left Wentz.
Right.
But Skip, at some point in time, look, it didn't work. But Odell was healthy this year, and Baker could not get. It just shows you the gap between Matthew Stafford and Baker Mayfield. There's levels to this.
Wait until Baker gets healthy. Just wait.
He ain't Matthew Stafford.
He's stuck in a sad sack franchise
that is
mismanaged, that is chaotic. In his first 4 seasons, Baker had 4 head coaches and 4 coordinators.
He's the reason why.
Oh, it's his
fault.
Okay. I think it looks like a Cleveland fault to me. Doesn't it? Isn't that the pattern that we're seeing? Yes, it is.
They're not the best run franchise.
Okay, so then what happens? The Cleveland Browns flat out cut Odell Beckham Jr. They just say, we can't get anything back from him. Nobody wants him, so we just got to let him go. Go pick your place. You choose. And New Orleans wanted him badly. He's from New Orleans. He could have gone home. Obviously, they don't have Mike Thomas. And he could have stepped right into the #1 role, and you say, well, they don't have a quarterback.
They don't. Well, he just left a situation that didn't have a quarterback. Why go to another?
Is he Odell Beckham Jr. or not? Because if you're that guy, you just say, bring it on. I'm going home to save my franchise.
If that was the case, why didn't Amari Cooper go to Washington? They had more money on the table. Why they didn't have a quarterback?
I'm talking about Amari.
No, but I'm saying, no. What you're trying to do, you're trying to say, well, he's that guy. You go make the other quarterback better. No, wide receivers want to be in situations where the quarterback is stable and the quarterback is good. So what I'm trying to say is Amari stayed with Dak because he believed Dak was a better situation than what he would get in Washington. Odell says, why would I go to New Orleans? Yes, that's home. But why would I go there when they got Trevor Siemian? At that time, Jameis Winston has torn his knee and Taysom Hill. Or I could choose between Green Bay and Matthew Stafford in L.A.
That brings up Green Bay, who wanted him badly, and he could have walked in the door as the clear-cut #2 to Devontae. Clear-cut. Not hands down. No questions asked. You are the #2 option, but you are clearly the #2 option. Instead, out of the blue, he shocks the world by choosing the Rams.
Did he make the right decision?
Well, wait a second. He chose to go to a team that already had the most productive receiver in the National Football League, a guy on his way to becoming the Offensive Player of the Year and obviously destined to be the Super Bowl MVP. And they also had Robert Woods, and you yourself admitted right there in that seat, Robert Woods is better than Odell right now. Wow, okay, I'll buy that because he is really good. And you want to talk about a possession receiver catching balls over the middle? He is fearless, and unfortunately, it got him in some trouble, apparently in practice, I guess.
It was like a simple walkthrough.
Okay, I don't know what happened, but Odell walks in the door, and Robert limps out the door. On the very day he arrives, on Friday practice, that's the end of Robert Woods. Yet you agreed to go in there when, remember, Van Jefferson was on the rise because against Arizona, that was in week 4, he caught 6 balls for 90 yards. So it's not like he was a distant #3. It's like Odell had to agree, okay, I'll be a co-#3 with Van Jefferson. And Tyler Higbee had been catching a bunch of balls, too.
If they believe Van Jefferson was the legit #3, they would have never signed Odell because, as you mentioned at the time, they had Cup, they had Robert Woods, and they had Jefferson, and they had Higbee. It was because they had seen things that you and I didn't. Well, I saw. That's why they signed him. The drops, the inconsistency. He's a young player. He's going to get better at beating man coverage, but he's not there now. Odell walks in, and look at Odell. He got 2 catches for 15 yards. It took him a while to get on the same page.
It took the last 8 games of the regular season.
And then what happened?
8 games of the regular season. Those last 8 games, that's a pretty big body of work. Odell managed to catch 3.4 balls a game for a grand total of 38 yards per game.
And then what happened come playoff time?
Then he catches Arizona 4 for 54, and then it starts to go up. At Tampa, 6 for 69, and then against San Francisco at home, 9 for 113.
Get your roll on then, Odell. Get your roll on.
2 for 52 before, unfortunately, he went down in the Super Bowl.
So you see where this thing was headed, right?
On a pass from Matt Stafford that was woefully behind.
It ain't no woeful skip. Stop it. It was a freak accident. But you see where this thing was headed. Each game, the yards and the catches had started to increase.
and whose catches were also increasing as we spoke. Cooper Kupp was taking over the playoffs game after game. I've never seen anything quite like it this side of Jerry Rice, and it was, frankly, because he set the record for the playoff catches, it was beyond Jerry Rice. Right. Nobody could cover Cooper Kupp.
Right.
So your man Odell fell into single coverage heaven. I've never seen anything like it.
That's what you want.
Even on the crossing route that he caught in the Super Bowl that broke loose.
Yeah.
Like his defender's like 15 yards away from him. Okay?
What you want Odell to do?
Okay. I want him to catch it, run with it.
He did.
And he was starting to look healthier and healthier at age 29. And now, God bless him. I hope he's going to be okay. And by the way, I talked to somebody who saw him at a party after the Super Bowl and said he was dancing. You could probably dance on a torn ACL. A little bit, but my point is maybe it's a sign that maybe it's not so bad. The reports are it's torn. Right. And it's the same one that tore before, which is no good as you turn 30 years of age because, as Brady always said, it's a lifetime injury. Well, now you've had it twice.
Well, it's no good because you've had it twice within a span of 2 years on basically the same knee.
It makes me cringe. It makes me sick for him because it's not fair and it's going to hamper him because you're probably
he's a free agent. It's not. It was Skip. If he was a situation, he was in the middle of a 4-year, 5-year deal. He would have some security. But he's a free agent. So now coming off an ACL and you're a free agent, your opportunities are probably going to be limited because you're looking to get back when Skip December. If everything goes perfect, you're looking at December.
It's terrible because he was starting to look like the New York Odell. I give you that because I started to see a little bit more explosion.
Just
a
saw
little bit.
Okay.
Where we got some pep in step because he was running more confidently than I ever saw him run in Cleveland. And there are all kinds of stories written by my friend Jake Trotter on ESPN.com about Odell started freelancing routes against for Baker where they were so not on the same page. Odell's making up his own routes. Well, it was horrendous. And by the way, just to clean up and clear up and finish off what was going on in Cleveland, Odell was also losing his confidence. You can say it's because Baker was wild and off target, but I can't get out of my craw because it sticks in my craw. What was happening last year in Cleveland to Odell's clutchness. Usually he'd catch the ball, right? He dropped a couple in the one playoff game he'd played for the Giants, right? But if we could see what happened last year, remember at Chargers? This is early in the season. It's a critical 4th down. It was 4th and 2 at the 17. Watch this. Was that a good pass? It hit him right in the hands, and he just dropped it.
Well, he's looking for it right now, and Baker, that was a good. He got to make that catch. I understand you're expecting it early, but it wasn't.
Here's another one against Arizona as they're trying to make a comeback.
I'm sorry,
you're going to get some contact, but
you got to make the catch.
You got to catch the football. Then there was one against Pittsburgh where they're trying to come back. It's 15-10, and Odell just cuts loose right down. Baker throws it down the middle. He doesn't even really go up and try. No. That's a guy who's been battered, who did not want to give up his body and quote unquote die for a cause he didn't believe in from the start.
Oh, didn't he have a sprained AC joint? He was dealing with a sprained AC joint, right? Okay. He couldn't lift his left arm, you see, because it doesn't look like the left arm comes up. That's what it looked like to me. Looked like somebody's dealing with an injury.
Were you out there playing?
Whoa, hold on, wait a minute.
Sharpe always tells me if you're out there, you're out there.
I'm glad you said that. Was Baker out there?
Well, he playing on a tornado.
No. If you're out there, you're out there. All I see is 6 with Mayfield on it.
A little easier to play receiver than quarterback.
All I know, there's about to be another Mayfield in his front yard, the moving company. If he doesn't get it right, Skip Bayless, you know what's going to happen. They're going, thank you for your services.
So are you predicting they should just do away with him? I think you said that all year, and I kept trying to hold your feet to the fire. I've told you, I can't express to you how much I hope the Browns let him go because he will go somewhere and come back to haunt them and you.
He ain't going nowhere.
And especially if he falls into a much better situation than he's in right now, which is just pure chaos.
Wait a minute. You want him to fall into a much better situation because why? Now, Odell fell into a better situation.
Did he?
Oh, so in other words,
interesting. Odell's into a situation where the Rams had a top 5 pass-blocking offensive line.
Yes.
That kept Matt Stafford pretty clean through the playoffs, only 7 sacks in 4 games.
Let me ask you a question. Are you saying the Rams' offensive line is better than Cleveland's offensive line?
It's right there.
No, not right there. Is it better?
But it's just right in there. It's like 6 to 1, half dozen the other.
Yeah. Did you see all those All-Pro and Pro Bowl players they got on the offensive line?
Yep.
Look at that running game. Even though Hunt missed a lion's share of the season, if I'm not mistaken, Nick Chubb was in the Pro Bowl.
So the point was that when Odell went to Cleveland, he was blessed. He was exalted. He became the savior for the Browns.
Yeah.
And I've said this from the start, and I know people close to him who agree with me on this. He was never cut out to be a #1 receiver. He does not have those kinds of intangibles.
So what was he in New York?
He is a beautiful complementary
So what was he in New York?
Well, he was one.
Well, if he's not cut out for it, how can he be that in New York, but he's not cut out for it to be in Cleveland?
How many playoff games did he play in New York?
No, Skip.
Okay, wait a second. He played one, and what did he do with his group of receivers? He led them to South Beach for a day off to get ready for a game up on the frozen tundra in Green Bay. Are you kidding me?
Can I ask you a question?
And then what did he do in that game? He dropped a crucial third down pass on the first series, and then he dropped one in the back of the end zone. Yeah. Don't give me that. He was a one because he's a one off the field in New York. He was made for the Big Apple.
You just told me his first 3 years he went to the Pro Bowl. He was second team All-Pro, if I'm not mistaken, 2 of the 3 years. He was Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Yep.
But you tell me he's not a #1. Then he goes to Cleveland, and then you say people close to Odell say he was not cut out. I'm confused. He was a #1 for 3 years. Then all of a sudden he goes somewhere else. He doesn't want to be a #1?
Did not. That's why he chose this situation. He's a better B-side. He's actually a Robin who looks like Batman.
How about this here?
Dressed like Batman.
This here? Let me go somewhere that our offensive coach understands my skill set. I have a quarterback that can get me the football. Let me show you what I can do. And then
let me compliment the most productive receiver in National Football League history.
Okay.
Boom. Way to go, Odell. Beautiful. Great move.
Skip. There's no shame in going somewhere, proving your worth, and then getting the opportunity to go out there. I believe he had shown that Odell Beckham Jr. was back, and he was ready to be the #1 wide receiver elsewhere. Now, maybe he takes less money. Maybe he was willing to take less money to stay there. But he had shown me and a lot of other people that he had returned to form and he was ready to take off. Unfortunately, this injury set that back again. But this notion that he was never a #1 is just not true.
It is true. It is true. We saw it again and again.
Skip, you saw it for 3 years in New York. He was a true #1.
It got them nowhere.
Skip,
it got them nowhere.
Let me ask you a question. So where did Calvin Johnson take the Lions?
Okay, well, that was Matt Stafford.
Matthew Stafford just went and won the Super Bowl.
Yep.
So if it's Matthew Stafford, he just went and won the Super Bowl.
All right, guys, it's time to move on and talk about
Cooper Kupp better than Megatron?
He's more productive, way more.
Thank you for watching. You can subscribe here to get the latest from the show, and be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few other segments from our other shows on FS1.